Good afternoon from Alchemy Total Wellness. This is Zach, Director of Coaching, and today is World Sleep Day. World Sleep Day. Sleep is so important that it has its own holiday, but so do tacos. So we won't focus too much on that. But it is important to realize how crucial sleep is to your overall health. Many of you know this. Many of you realize how crappy you feel when you don't sleep well. For some of you, a good night's sleep might seem like a memory of the distant past. We're going to change that today in this video. We're going to share with you some of the best strategies available on how to improve the quality of your sleep, how to optimize your sleep for total wellness. See, quality sleep is one of the top 5 health-related behaviors for preventing chronic disease. Poor sleep, of course, is a contributing factor to chronic disease. Poor sleep is a contributing factor to weight gain. Poor sleep is a contributing factor to emotional dysregulation. That's why we feel irritable, angry, might have fits of crying or even laughing when we are sleep deprived. The first thing we're going to talk about is what not to do, then we're going to get into the fun stuff. What can you do? Because I'm a big proponent that you can't just remove things, you have to replace them with something else if you're really going to create successful, lasting behavioral change. So the first thing you're going to want to focus on not to do is to not have caffeine. I'm going to say 6 hours before bedtime. You know, coffee has a half-life of 5 to 7 hours depending on your metabolism. So I'm not going to give you a direct time. Some people like to say 2 p.m., other people 4 p.m. But well into the early evening, you're going to want to limit all caffeine intake, not just from coffee. Be aware of other places where caffeine sneaks in, such as in teas, different drinks, different foods even can have caffeine or they can have a stimulating effect. You're going to want to limit those. The next thing you're going to want to eliminate is staying up late and having fluctuations in your bedtime. You want to stick to a consistent bedtime. Otherwise, your body never gets into a rhythm. Your biology never gets into a consistent cycle, so it never knows when it should be winding down. So having a consistent bedtime. Notice I said bedtime, not sleep time, because we can't always control how fast we fall asleep once we're in bed, but we can control when we're gonna have our butt in bed and be ready for sleep. So that is the time you wanna be as consistent as possible with. And we're gonna talk about strategies to increase the time it takes to fall asleep. You're also going to wanna eliminate food before bed. Digestion takes energy. Any energy that is devoted to digestion will be energy that's taken away from recovering, which is the sole purpose of sleep. And because it takes energy, it interferes with the quality of our sleep, the depth of our sleep. You're going to eliminate late night snacking, late night eating before bed. Okay, that's enough about what not to do. Now we're going to talk about actually creating a good evening routine. Because again, quality sleep doesn't just begin at bedtime. It doesn't just begin while you're sleeping. It begins early on into the evening. So creating an evening routine, you're going to want to focus on things that wind you down. The psychology behind this is that we have these anchors, these neuro associations. This is why we can see certain things and we experience certain emotions that we attach to those things. So the more consistent you are with an evening routine, the more you will begin to develop those anchors. So maybe it's that certain cup of tea or that certain smell that helps you relax, that signals to you it's time to go to bed. Some things that are great for winding down are journaling. So journaling about your day, keeping a gratitude journal, could be creative writing poetry before bed. It could also be something I like to call planning tomorrow today. So focusing on, okay, what do I need to get done? And closing all those open loops so that when you go to bed, you don't have all these things on your mind, they're on paper. And if you have things you need to get done, you give yourself permission to let them go because you plan exactly when you're going to be taking care of that. You create a strategy for the next day that makes it easier for the mind to surrender to the day that's coming to an end. Another big part of the evening routine would be something like meditating. Now, if you don't have a meditative practice, I won't beat it to death right now in this video, but I'm a huge advocate of meditation. Meditation unlocks and fosters certain brain waves that are conducive to rest and relaxation, that turn off that survival, that fight or flight mode, that sympathetic nervous system, and promote a state of rest and relaxation. So taking 10 minutes to journal, taking 10 minutes to meditate, that's a fantastic evening routine. That's going to help you start to wind down. For the last part of this video, let's talk about optimizing your environment. Because willpower is overrated. If we just say we're going to get to bed, it's not always easy to make that happen just because we have it in our planner or just because we say that's what we're going to do. So creating a bulletproof evening routine is one part. The second part is optimizing what the environment is when you go to sleep. You want to sleep cool and dark. How cool? About 65 degrees. So keep that thermostat around 65. If it's warm, look into air conditioning. Look into ways to keep the room cooler in the evening. But you're going to want it cool and dark. How dark? Pitch black. So people go to different levels of extreme when it comes to how dark the room is. So, if you're near any street lamps or things like that, you're going to want to get blackout curtains. Make sure they're closed tight so no light is coming in through your windows. Again, some people go as far as to put black electrical tape over the alarm clock or over those little pilot lights that are on electronics. And while we're on the topic of electronics, you're going to want to eliminate all electronics as part of that environment. So early on into the evening, reduce screen time. If you have a TV in your bedroom, take it out. Next time you have the TV on in the evening or at nighttime when the sun's down, next time you have the TV on, just look at the wall. Look at the wall across from the TV and watch all the light that shines and turns off and turns on again on the wall, and picture that light throughout the night hitting your eyelids. That's going to disrupt your quality of sleep. Taking the TV out of the bedroom. If you have a cell phone that you use for an alarm clock or something like that, you're going to want to keep it out of the bedroom as well. If it's where you can see it, you're going to want to put it on airplane mode to eliminate any excess notifications coming in. You can also put the phone face down so that the light from your screen turning on throughout the night is not interfering with your sleep. That's a great hack for waking up early as well, is keeping the phone or the alarm outside of the bedroom so that you have to get up to turn it off, even if it's just outside the door. It also decreases your exposure to harmful waves from the electronics throughout the night. So eliminating the TV, eliminating the phone, instead doing things like journaling, meditating, things that reduce your exposure to light. It's not just the quality of the light, because those electronics emit blue light, which throws off your circadian rhythm. It's also the content of that light. When we're getting notifications on our phone, it's often about things that we need to respond to. It's things that we need to do. A lot of the stuff that happens on our computers is chaotic. There's different things going on everywhere. A lot of things on TV are dramatic. The news puts us in a state of fear. Different shows are drama. Gets us in an emotionally heightened state. If you like noise when you go to sleep, Some people will say to me, well, I like the TV on because the noise helps me get to sleep. If you are somebody who feels like you need noise to go to sleep, there's different options for you aside from a big blaring square of light. Those options are white noise. So you can get a white noise machine. I'll put a link to that right below in the notes. The options could be a fan that's on low, the humming of a fan, or an air purifier that gives you the double benefit of purifying the air that you're sleeping in as part of your environment, as well as creating a soft hum that helps you to get to sleep. Or you can also use something like an app, like Sleep Melodies. I'll put a couple of my favorite ones in the notes as well, where you're playing different nature sounds that help you wind down and help you relax at the end of the day. I understand eliminating screen time is not always a possibility. Sometimes you have a family that's watching something. Sometimes you need to use your phone for something. Sometimes the reality is that you might need to do some work. You may need to be on your computer. If that is true, I recommend getting blue light blocking glasses. Blue light blocking glasses, some of my favorite brands are Felix Gray. I'll link to that as well. I have a pair of Felix Gray glasses, or Gunnar Optics. Gunnar Optics started as gaming glasses for video games, but they're great to use. They have like a yellow tint on them that also blocks blue light coming in. If you want to really take it up a notch, the best you can get are True Dark glasses. I'll put a link to that below as well. You use True Dark glasses. This is great for traveling too when you're on planes and in airports. They actually have padding around the eyes, and they eliminate the most blue light out of any of those options. One of the best things you can do, which is probably the most extreme example, is when the sun goes down, just go by candlelight. Some people who are really into the biohacking space will do that, because that's part of an ancestral lifestyle, is just going by the light of a fire when the sun goes down. That's one of the best things you can do, but for many people, that's not a possibility. So that's why I give you those other options. So I hope you enjoyed this video. These are all ways that you can optimize the quality of your sleep, the onset of your sleep, the duration of your sleep for better health and wellness. Happy World Sleep Day. All right, just sharing a little post video for you all. Want to show you the models of the Felix Grays that I have and the Gunnar Optics glasses. So I have both. The reason I have both is because I like Gunnar a little bit better. I just don't like the way they look as much. So these are my Felix Grays. These are the Faraday model. So pretty stylish, pretty professional looking. Do a nice job of blocking out the blue light. And these are my Gunnar Optics. This is the Axial, A-X-I-A-L. And you can see those. You can see that they have more of a tint on the eyes, and these are the ones that I prefer to use. They tend to surround more of my eye, and I just think they do a nice job of blocking out the light. So that's what those look like. I'll link to those right below, and let me know if you have any other brands that you'd recommend or have any other questions about this.